Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to solve the 5x5 Rubik's Cube. So if you've seen my tutorials or solved a 3x3 and a 4x4, then you'll be ready to solve the 5x5. If you have not solved any of these cubes yet, then the 5x5 will be really hard. It's probably not a good beginner cube. I think maybe the 2x2 or the 3x3 is probably the best beginner cubes. But I'm going to show you how to solve the 5x5, and I'm not going to make it too much on the beginner method because the beginner method when solving the edges takes forever. So I'm going to show you a little bit more of an advanced way to do it, but it shouldn't be too hard, and I'll try to make it simple. So before we solve it, we gotta scramble it up. Okay, now we got the 5x5 all scrambled up. Okay, so the first step is you want to solve the white center. How we're gonna do that is we're gonna make bars, like things like this, but we're gonna add another white piece to it. So it's like where there's 3 whites in a row, so we're gonna keep making like 3 white pieces in a row and then put them up in the white area. And one thing that's easier than a 4x4 is that on a 5x5 you know which side is supposed to be which color because of the centers. The centers tell you what color the side is supposed to be. So before we go and put this bar up, we're gonna want to make the one on the top. We already have some on the bottom. I didn't set that up, they just happened to be there. So I'm just gonna flip this one to get it on in the top bar like that. And then for this one, I'm going to turn this side twice and get it in the top, just like that. And now we have the first white bar. Now for the second one, which is just right here, I'm just gonna turn the side whichever direction to where I can just put it up into here, like it's simple. So now I'm just gonna put that bar up in here and make the last bar. So we have this piece needs to go here. All we have to do is just slide this column over. And then this piece needs to go in here. But this part might be a little bit hard, so I watch carefully what I do. I'm gonna turn it to where it can go right in like this. But since that knocked that piece out of place, I'm gonna turn the front side back and then drop that column back down to fix the whites. And now I can just bring this column back up and it solves the white center. So now that we've solved the white center, we want to turn the cube around and solve the yellow center. Just like on a 4x4, with odd numbers, it's a good idea to start making the first bar in the middle line. So I'm going to go ahead and do this piece first. I'm going to just turn it to where if I bring this column up, it goes right into here. But this part might be a little trickier, and if you've seen my 4x4 tutorial, you'll know how to do this, but I'm going to show you anyway. When I bring this side up, it knocks this bar of 3 out of place. So I'm going to turn the top twice and bring that column back down to save the white center. And keep building the yellow center. Now we're gonna find the next one. It's right here, or right here, or right here. So I'm gonna do this one. So instead of sliding it up into here and then turning the top twice and bringing it back down, I'm actually just gonna put this piece up in here and push that one out of the way. And then turn the top twice, and then when I bring this column back down, it solves the first bar on the yellow side. Now we need to make the second bar. We have this piece, this one, and this one. those are the 3 pieces we are going to use. So we'll start with this one. First, we're going to turn it in a direction that we can slide this one towards it, or slide this one towards it. And then we're going to turn this top one counterclockwise to where it can fit right into here, and this one fits right in here. And that makes the second yellow bar. Now we're going to turn the top to where it's not in the way of these, because we don't want to do that. So I'm going to turn it over here where I can slide it up into an empty space. And then turn the top twice and bring it back down. And now we just have one more yellow bar to do. I'm going to do this one. So we have these 3 pieces. These are what we want. Before I turn this piece over here, I'm just going to slide this piece out of the way, so that when I turn it over here, I'll have room to bring this piece up without knocking this piece away from it. So now I'm going to connect this piece to this bar, and then connect this one to that bar by turning the top clockwise, and then just bring this column down to connect it into here. Now we're going to put it up in the yellow center. So I'm going to turn it to where it's going to knock this bar of 3 out of place when I bring this column up. But then when I turn the top twice and bring it back down, it brings that one back down, and now we have the first 2 centers solved. So if that was a little bit tricky, then just practice that a few times and you'll eventually get it. And now that's what you do for all the centers, and I'm not going to explain too much because a 5x5 takes forever to explain how to solve. But I will explain the last 2 centers. So for the red center, you're going to want to do the same thing as you did for the white center and the yellow center. So you make a bar in the middle, and then you make the next bar by finding the pieces you need, connecting them, and then moving them out of the way so you don't do any damage to the white and yellow center or the red center. And then when you got a bar of 3, you bring it up into this side, turn the top twice, and bring it back down. Now for this one, I'm going to turn it to where it's on this side. This piece can just slide right into there, so I'm going to do that. Turn it out of the way so I don't break the red center, and slide it back. Now I'm going to put this bar in the way of the red center, turn the top twice and bring it back down. And now we have the red center solved, and the exact same thing with the green center. So we already got almost a bar right here. We just need this piece right here. We don't need this piece, we just need this one. So I'm going to turn it up, and I'm actually going to get this piece out of the way so that when I need it, it's in the orange or blue center instead of the green center, because that will be hard to find. Now I'm going to turn this side up here, turn this side, and this is the only time I'm going to do this. But I have them lined up to where I can just drop this piece right down in here. But that messes up the green and the red center. So now I'm going to turn it towards where I dropped it down, and then bring it right back up. And now we have 2 bars in the green center solved. Now for the last one, this might be a little bit hard. So I'm going to take this piece out of the way by doing a move that takes pieces out of the way. It's R, U prime, R prime, or R, U, R prime, whatever it is that will take them out of the way. It'll work. And then I'm going to line it up to where I can just move this piece right into here. And now turn the front, move the column back. Now I'm going to turn this column twice, turn the top twice, turn that column twice again, and we have the red and the green center solved. That's 4 centers. Now we're down to the last 2. I'm gonna explain this because this is a hard part and it requires a special algorithm to solve the last 2 centers. So first, instead of making bars, we're just gonna solve the last 2 centers with an algorithm that will always get any piece where you want it to go. And this algorithm will work on any big cube that is over 5 by 5. And so I'm gonna show you how to do it. You line it up to where you can put them in the piece you want. You bring whichever column up you need into the piece you want. Then you turn the top away from this column, or you want this piece to be away, so don't turn it like this because then it's in front of it, but away. And look at where this piece is and just bring whichever column up that has that same piece in it. So it's going to be this one. Now turn the top back, and I'm going to bring this side back down, and then turn the top back again, bring this side back down. And that's how you get pieces where you want them to go. Now we're going to do this piece right here, and we're going to put it in here. So I have them lined up. This edge piece is going to go up in here. I'm going to put it in to where it connects to that piece. Turn the top, and since it's right here, I'm going to move the middle. Turn the top back where it was. Move this column down. Turn the top back to the middle. Move this column down. And now we only have 2 pieces left, which are these 2. So now I'm going to show you how to do 2 pieces at once. I'm going to get these 2 up here, both at once, by moving these 2 columns up. Turn the top away from these 2. And then I'm going to move this column up. Turn the top back where it was and move these 2 down. And then turn it back to this one where everything is broken. And move that column down. And now we have all the centers solved. So now I'm not gonna go show you how to solve every single edge one at a time on here. I'm gonna show you the algorithm for solving edges and how to get the edges in one place, but if I explained every single edge, it would take forever. So I'm not going to do that. So first, we have these 2 red and yellow pieces. This step is just like solving the edges on a 4x4. So I'm going to connect these 2 together. And now I'm going to find the piece I want, which is right here. Since it's on the top, I want to be careful putting it down here, because if I put it down here and then slice this back, that's what it does. It breaks the centers. So never do that. That's not a good idea. But I'm just going to show you what to do. To get this piece in here, I'm just going to move this side up, turn the top to where this piece fits right into this column, and then move it back down before I slice this back. And now I can fit this piece right into here, just like that. And now, if I slice the green side back, it breaks those pieces. So instead, I'm going to move this edge into the yellow side by doing L prime, U prime, L. And then I slice the centers back together. And we have the first edge pair solved. I'm gonna move on to the next one. So this one right here, this is a red and green. So we need 2 more red and greens. We have 1. So I'm gonna get this one in here by doing L prime, U, L. Now I'm going to connect them together, just like that, and find the last piece, which is right here. So how I'm going to get this piece over here is I'm going to turn the top away from it, and then bring this side up, turn the top back where it was to fit this piece right into the column I want, and then bring it back down. And now when I slice it over, it pairs that edge together. Now I'm going to bring it up into the yellow side, spin the top, and bring it back down. And when I'm doing this, I always want to push the last piece out of the way. And now I slide it back. The reason I was pushing the last piece out of the way is because when you have 3 edges solved and then you need one more up here, you're gonna have to do that. You can't just put it into an unsolved edge, because then there'll still be an unsolved edge. And you'll have to do all the work again. So be careful you don't do that, okay? Now I'm going to use these 2 pieces. These are orange and yellow. So I'm going to pair them together. And then find the next orange and yellow piece, which is right here. I'm going to bring this side up. Turn the top to where it's in this column and bring it back down. Now I pair the edges up together. And now I can just push this piece out of the way. Turn the top away from any solved edges. That's important too. And then bring this side back down. Now put the centers back together. And that solves 3 edges. So I'm going to go on to the 4th edge. So now I have this one, and this one. I'm going to pair these up together. They were all lined up, so that was actually a lucky case. Now I'm going to push that piece out of the way, turn the top and bring it back down, and then put the centers back together. And now we have 4 edges solved. Now I'm going to show you something you can get when you're solving the 5x5 edges. Is you can get something like this, where this piece needs to go up here, but it's flipped and it's in the wrong place. The flipping algorithm for this is the same as you would use on a 4x4. If you know the 4x4 flipping algorithm, it's exactly the same. But I'm going to go through the algorithm anyway, just so you know. So it's R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R. And now I can slice it into here like that. If you need a little more simple algorithm, or if that one was too hard for you, there's another one, which is R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that also flips the edge. And so either one of those algorithms will work. I don't mention that last one in the 4x4 tutorial, but I did mention it in the 5x5 tutorial. So now I'm going to slice this over to pair these edges together. And bring it up into the top. Turn it away, bring it back down, and then slice it back. Keep doing that for all the edges. Okay, when you get to this point where there's all the edges on the top are solved, all the edges on the bottom are solved, and you don't have anywhere to replace any edges, because this part might be kind of hard, I'm going to show you what to do. So remember that flipping algorithm that I just told you? We're going to use it for this part. So we have this piece right here and these 2. I want to put these 2 in here, but if I slice the middle over, it breaks the centers, and I have nothing to replace them with, or I have no unsolved edges to replace it with. So instead, I'm gonna do the flipping algorithm, which is R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R. Now, if I slice this over and flip this piece, it goes right into here. And then when I slice it back, it's going to pair these 2 together. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to slice this top over, do the flipping algorithm again, R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R. and then put it back, and that pairs them together. Now for this one, I'm going to slice this bottom layer over, so that if I flip this, it goes in here, and it'll pair them together. Now I do the algorithm, R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R. And then I slice it back, and it pairs this edge together. And now we have 9 out of 12 edges solved. So next we're gonna go on to these. So this one needs to be flipped so it can go up here and slide into there. So I'm gonna slice this piece over, do the flipping algorithm, which I explained many times, and then slice it back, and that pairs these edges. Now, when you get to the last two edges, this part might be a little bit hard, but these two are flipped, so that's good because we can slice this piece in and do the flipping algorithm, and it pairs these together. Now for this one, I'm going to slice it to where if I flip it, it goes up in here. Now I'm going to flip it with the RURFRFR algorithm, and then I put it back in. And when you get down to the last edges, then there's a chance you could have all the edges solved, but then another chance is you could have just one edge in the middle flipped, or actually more like these two edges are flipped. The algorithm for flipping them is the same as the 4x4. You just don't do it in these layers, you just do these layers. So like on a 4x4, it's 2 layers. On a 5x5, you just act like this middle layer is not there and do the 4x4 parity algorithm. If you know the 4x4 parity algorithm, you can just do it, but I'm going to show you anyway, just in case you don't know it or you might be a little confused still. Is this R prime, U2, L, F2, L prime, F2, R2, U2, R, U2, R prime, U2, F2, R2, F2. And that flips that edge. Okay, so now, once you have all the edges solved, you can then go and solve it just like it's a 3x3. And this is why you need to know how to solve a 3x3, but I'm gonna just assume you do and go through it. And the 5x5 is solved. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I hope you learned how to solve the 5x5 and aren't having too much trouble with it. Because once you get it, it won't be too hard anymore. And I will see you in the next video.